Hello Galactic family. How to consecrate my affectionate union. Question. Beloved Masters, it is with love and humility that I come to you today. Thank you immensely for this wonderful channel. On this day I would like to ask you a few words about the marriage ceremony. Masters, I would like to receive a blessing in my marriage and present to you my union. I have lived with my beloved 4 years and we have not married in any church, because as you well know we do not have a religion, being my husband incredulous in many spiritual matters. We have often heard that living this way is living in sin without the blessing of God, but the more I read his messages, the less I care about what is sin, and I know that the Creator is everywhere and not in a church or religion. Is there a mantra I can chant in my home or ritual to consecrate my marriage? Gratitude for all love received. Words are few to express such happiness. Answer. Sarah Faya Dalas, Fire of Love, Faith of the Unity of Christ, who in the strength of your heart brings the light of the oryx, of Mother Imanj who carries you in your arms with your love. Sarah Faya. Hail. Gig has already answered your question, has not it? It has already said that the union of two souls does not need a temple, is it not true? And she said she lives with her husband in union. So your doubt is not about the union of marriage, but how to overcome the judgment of the people, how to give account to the society of this union that lives, that integrates and that does not need shelter of the men because God already blessed to allow. Is not that really my fault? And for that I say faith, to get rid of these beliefs, to follow your life in trust, that aren't always have been blessed by God, with union or without, and that men outside this relationship have nothing to do with the life of the. So go, follow your life, follow with love, because in the blessing of your life is Umanja, the Mother of Love, who has already blessed you, and who has enlightened you the way. Live life, and take those karamindhalas you put on your head. Live your life in peace and love, without being accountable, but only doing what your heart asks for. Everything else is the illusion of men. Stay in the peace of our Lord Jesus Christ. Grandma Benta. My 17-year-old binder. Question. Greetings, Masters. First of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to be communicating with you. My family has a delicate situation where we have to make a very difficult choice. We have a little dog that is about 17 years old and she is in a very bad state, lies shivering, is blind with 2 eyes, deaf, does her physiological needs and lies on top, is difficult to walk, she is not the same as she was before due to old age. We love her a lot, but sometimes we think if we should put her to sleep, but it is a very complicated situation. We wanted to know what this process would be like for animals on a spiritual level, and what would be the right choice. Thanks for listening. Answer. Daughter. Do you realize that our attachment is to the great roots of suffering? Look deeply at you in all sincerity, and see why you do not want it to fulfill its life cycle. The answer is not in the situation, but in each of you. Look at the emotion that this animal, which is very much loved, causes in you. What is the feeling it produces that does not allow it to fulfill the life cycle that already ends in the terrestrial plane? Everything that we cling to the point of allowing greater suffering of a being, comes towards ourselves, to cause our own suffering. But if we allow everything to happen naturally, thanking you for having lived the experience, everything will become simpler. Be in that certainty and remain in peace. Serapis Bay. I accessed information from past lives and past to identify themselves. Question. Masters, I need your help. I feel that something is happening to me, relative to my husband, and I wish to change. For example, I find it hard to do and give affection. Something seems to stop me from doing it. For some time, when I awoke to spirituality, I did not tolerate his touch. It was weird. I've done targeted therapy for past lives, given the information I received. The situation has improved, but not as much as I wish. As I know, I was a friar in a past life. Is the vow of chastity made in this life a reason for limitation in the present life? If so, how should I proceed to undo this vote? Thanks. Answer. Daughter. Work only the feeling of self-love. You, for a long time, did not give room to yourself to be your own truth. And now it conflicts with the one that existed just to please her husband, and the other character that is self-sufficient. Just understand that you lack the balance. You identified with an I who was the wife, who did not seek her own identity, but was only there dedicated to being to the other. And then, in seeking her truth spiritually, she discovers many truths about herself, begins the revelation of so many aspects that were covered up by this mask she had created, and which was the image of a wife. The problem is that with each new identity you identify in this new quest, with each new aspect worked on, you identify with what has been revealed, and you do not realize that the purpose of working with past constraints is to be clean and enlightened ones, and not so that they again identify with them, taking on new personalities. Work the emptying of the information. Forget what it was and also do not think about what it is or should be. Only surrender to the void, allow all aspects to be released. When accessing past life information, a deprogramming job is needed to clear the records that created the personalities. And not just access the information for knowledge. The mistake is to bring up information that has been forgotten about what has been and identities that are already in the past, without the intention of working in lighting and cleaning, with the deprogramming and reprogramming of the mind. Understand that the work done in you is not complete, and eventually cause mental confusion, where you no longer know which identity is yourself. Understand that accessing records from the past is something very serious, and therefore should be worked with caution. I am Lord Melchizedek. Should I become a therapist? Why cannot I work? Question. Masters, I have felt stronger and more frequent every day the will to commit suicide. I feel a huge void and together there comes a feeling of not being useful. I am 39 years old and practically never worked, because I do not feel safe, and I judge myself very much for this. Where does so much insecurity come from? I graduated in nutrition, but I did not freak out in the profession because of insecurity. I did not think I knew enough to practice, but how, if I had just graduated? How much lack of compassion for myself. I left nutrition aside and went to the contests, and my father always kept me. Today my father is in such a difficult financial situation that there is no longer any way to keep me going so that I can continue my studies for competitions. Something I like to do, but doing under pressure, due to the eagerness to achieve my financial independence. I think this energy is not helping me, because I got close to being approved in 2 competitions and I was not. And now I am forced to enter the job market without any experience, at 39 years old, and an insecurity that makes me feel peaceful. It really scares me because I do not want to work on something that does not make me happy, fulfilled. I see most people, dissatisfied with their jobs, have to work just out of obligation and not starve. I also do not know what to work for. I have no experience with anything and I do not feel like being a nutritionist again. I want to work on something where I feel full, happy, and help people. And when I think like this, it always comes in my heart to be a therapist. When I look at myself with so many blockages and fears, I think I want to help people just like me. Recently I had a face-to-face consultation with Grandma Maria Conga das Cachorros in the Vale d'En Manhícer, but I was so anxious that I cannot remember everything she said to me, but it was a memory that she instructed me to study the plant's willingness to learn Reiki. And I think she also told me that all this time my jobless has been used as a preparation for something bigger. I think I'm going to work helping people with whom I have something to rescue, but I'm not sure. She also told me to pay attention to things that would happen from now on. At the end of the consultation, as I said goodbye to her, "Grandma, I love you." And she answered me, "I love you too, and more ahead you will know why." 3 days later I met a friend of my mother's, a light worker who uses herbal medicine combined with spiritual treatment, and became interested in his work. Is it a sign of Grandma? Dear ones, I ask for clarification, please. This work that will accomplish me is as a worker of the light. If yes, where to start? And this desire to want to commit suicide? I ask for help. Gratitude for all love and patience. Answer. Beloved daughter. Yes, daughter, I am Grandpa Maria Conga, and I come back to talk to her daughter. Daughter, it's normal the wires come to talk to the grandmother, and leave without remembering anything. But next time the daughter can take paper and pen that Grandma lets write down, right? So, the grandmother said yes to faith, to keep the faith and to believe in intuition, to let flow what comes to faith. And it should not be forgotten that one of the preparations of the diet was the nutrition course. And look, it can help a lot of people build the world of the new age, take love, Nephia, with nutrition. So trust, let go of the doubts, and pay attention to the signs. A signal, Phia, is to be carried in the heart, so that I can follow, neatly. If Phia receives the signal and the heart pulsates in love, then it is not the fear that is leading to Phia in this way, but love. And if it's love, trust me. The grandmother will teach you a lot of things, but you still do not trust, right? Then follow the signs, Phia. Your idea of taking others as help from what you see as a difficulty for yourself is the basis of compassion and sympathy therapy work, so do not think that therapists are there knowing anything at all. They will learn how they are helping each other, they just need to have confidence. Follow the signs, Phia. If the heart receive the sign with love, surrender to it and trust. Hail. V. Maria Conga.